Well, good morning, everybody. How are you doing? It is Sunday. It's a weird day. It's cloudy, but yet it's sunny. It was a horrible night. Do you know what I felt? It was that hot. I think I just saw Aladdin going past my window at about 11 p.m. last night. Too hot. Can't deal with it. But a little bit of an update for you today. We've got the notepad out. And what I'll say as well, everybody, the hard line is not going to be out this evening, and the rumour mill will probably be at around about midday tomorrow if you just want to schedule your little bits in around there if you fancy watching. I know you guys enjoy it. 10 a.m. GMT every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but it's not going to be that tomorrow. I have come home for the weekend, so when I am home, try to switch off as much as possible. But it just means getting back to the dark side of the Pennines. I have got to get there, and via train it can be a little bit problematic. But today we are going to be speaking about Manor Solomon and the updated situation, of which we've not spoken about on the channel for a while, so I feel like we need to give it its due diligence right now. Now, what do we know with Solomon? 10 goals, 13 assists last season for Leeds United. Sign him up at the trophy parade. Absolutely belting out by Leeds United fans, and I heard it was in and around me. 41 appearances, clutch moments for Leeds United, and he called it his best season ever, and dedicating that and the move to Mr. Daniel Farke. So when we've been speaking regularly about the pull of a manager, it was interesting, I thought, when Solomon said this and he came out and effectively dedicated the move and said if it wasn't for Farke, he wouldn't be a Leeds United player. So he was the pull. He was the draw, which is what we've been speaking about on the channel very, very recently. Does Daniel Farke have that? And some big things to know is Leeds were in with Ajax for the signing of Solomon last year, and Leeds managed to get it over the line. So kudos to the gaffer there. Now, obviously Spurs are back in the Champions League. Postecoglou signed Manor Solomon, not part potentially of Thomas Frank's plans. Now, Frank is a manager who utilises a system which is very specific. It's, when he believes that his team needs to be a little bit more aggressive, he goes to a 4-3-3. When he thinks his team needs to be a little bit more defensive, he goes to a 3-5-2. Very aggressive. I always think when you look at a Thomas Frank team, which has obviously been comprised of his spell at Brentford, but he has had to evolve season upon season when his best players have been taken away from him. It does comprise of physicality and athletes. And people who can do both sides of the game, and I do think Solomon can do both sides of the game when he's fit. So the thing is as well with Spurs is they do lack homegrown players. Now they might want to get rid of these overseas players if they can as well. Now Levy's price, they reckon, and there's several sources reporting this, that even out in Israel when it comes to the Jerusalem Post as well, suggesting that he will not come lower than 20 million quid for Manor Solomon. And Spurs is as well, sources very close to them, Spurs Web, etc., have suggested at the back end of the season that Levy wants a top-end championship price. Now, Leeds Live have reported on this as well, and they suggested it might be a top-end championship price as well. Now, do we actually know what that means? Because a top-end championship price, if we're looking at that over the past however many years, that has been 30 million minimum. Minimum. So you do wonder how, and obviously we don't know the negotiation strand and talks between the two clubs, but you wonder how aggressive Levy is going with that. Is it 20 plus? Do I think it's going to be around about 30 million? No, but he's 25. There's a lot of understanding why he would push this fee. We've got to bear in mind as well that he brought him in a free transfer. So this is just going to be effectively pure profit for Tottenham and Daniel Levy. So it could be top end. Now, Leeds fans would love to keep him. We're all very, very aware of this. But I think it's going to be an unlikely move for Leeds, this one. I think it's going to be an unlikely move because I think Levy is going to push that top dollar. And I do wonder whether or not Leeds are going to go for that, for me. But something to bear in mind as well when it comes to Tottenham Hotspur and the running of that football club. They are the most profitable football club in the Premier League. Something to bear in mind when it comes to the statistics here. Now, sources do say that Solomon wants to stay at the club. That's via Spurs Web and TalkSport. Frank wants to assess him, apparently, in pre-season. Something to bear in mind as well is Richarlison, Son, Matthias Tell all play in the same position. So what is next for Leeds United, and what is next for Manor Solomon? Well, I've said this multiple times, but from a personal standpoint, I think there's a level of which Leeds need to go with Manor Solomon. I think if we go beyond that, I think it's getting into dangerous territory a little bit, and you're kind of playing Levy's game. You know, he knows that there's a certain level of which Leeds will go to as well. He's a shrewd negotiator. He's done this sort of stuff in his sleep before. You kind of look at the Harry Kane negotiation as well, which was unbelievable from Daniel Levy and himself, getting the absolute best from Harry Kane, but obviously getting the maximum profit from it as well. He's gonna play the long game here, and whether or not that takes Leeds till the back end of the window, September 1st, and we're still almost bargaining whether or not to do it, Levy will be willing to do that. As I've said, they brought him in free transfer. Levy knows that it's going to be pure profit, and obviously the reports from in and around the club are that they value Manor Solomon at 25, 26 years of age. They value him at a high-end championship market value, and as I've said, that's not 15 million quid, quite simply. So we know he's a tough bargaining guy. From Israeli sources as well, there's suggestions and there's discussions over there, Jerusalem Post being one of them, that it's going to be in around 20 million quid plus is what they've suggested. Now, the logic behind all this from Levy and Tottenham's side, Solomon's contract is till 2028, as we've mentioned. They bought him on a free transfer, and Levy knows this, very, very well aware of how this profit margin is going to be gargantuan if he's able to get a high-end championship fee. On top of that, we know obviously it's pure profit. And I think when you do look at Tottenham, to be fair, and some of their, when you look at why, is it fair that they should be asking this of Manor Solomon and the pricing? I think so. I think it's completely fair. You bring him in. You brought him in, he's not really got to a certain level when it's come to injuries and obviously dependability, reliability, which, is unfortunate. But when you look at it, contract-wise, it's 2028. So you've effectively, you don't have to buy him out of that, but you kind of have to get him out of that contract. 2028. Solomon is apparently very happy in London and would prefer that move as well, would prefer to stay at Tottenham Hotspur and fight for his place. And something to bear in mind is as well the increased number of players they're going to need for a Champions League squad, of which Solomon, for Shakhtar, has played in the Champions League. Something to bear in mind there. Pure profit, but his form as well at Leeds United was outstanding, and they'll know that. They'll be very, very aware of how good he was at Leeds United, how many games he played, how many games he missed. And this is why, for me, I just don't think we'll go for it. I think Leeds might test the waters and be in negotiation with Tottenham Hotspur, maybe right till the very end, but I think Leeds may move on from this one. Obviously, we know with Solomon, his wages are going to be pretty high as well. And it's just going to be fascinating to see where we get. And what do you guys think? Because I think it's a bit of a 50-50 split. In my chat anyway, I think generally a lot of Leeds fans would want him to stay. As I say, I'm kind of on the fence with it. He's not a proven Premier League winger whatsoever. What he has done before for Shakhtar has been highly impressive. But since then, it's been the only good form he's really had is at Leeds United, if we've been honest. That is it. So it's been a bit of a struggle for him. Would there be another season where he might have something similar and Leeds have played 20+ million for him? As I said, Tottenham are the most profitable club in the Premier League. They're not just going to let him go for a Leeds United fee. We have done business with them before, Joe Rodon, Archie Gray, etc. So is there a bit of a partnership, a relationship there? But what would you guys do? Let me know in the comment section below. Just a little update again, everybody. The hardline will not be tonight, and Rumour Mill will be around about 12 o'clock tomorrow. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Also, stop going nuts about Yakabil. It is done. Don't worry about it. Conor McGilligan here. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. See you in a bit.